So, the funny story that I have about Papa. Okay, so I was talking with him about which college I want to go to. And then I said I wanted to go to Bethel. So he was all like, you don't want to go to Bethel because the ratio of boys to girls is 1 to 3. That's actually not a bad deal.
I have been asked many times about what it was like when I first started dating John, because his family and my family are very different, especially our dads. My dad is a former missionary, he's a pastor, he's rather calm, and Rick is not at all those things.
No.
And when I first started dating John, I was nervous, of course, because the time came that I had to have dinner over at the Olsons for the first time. And I was really nervous. I was hoping that John's parents would like me, and I was just nervous. And we were all sitting. John's mom had made amazing dinner. It was her famous, now I know it's her famous spaghetti sauce. And we had all just sat down to eat dinner. And Rick, in a less graceful moment, spilled the entire plate of spaghetti on his lap. The whole thing. Just flipped upside down.
Piping hot.
And he panicked and jumped to his feet, and he dropped his pants. And after he dropped his pants, he said, "Oh, Kristen, don't look." But it was too late, and he was wearing tighty-whities. And I saw them. And John, poor John, was so embarrassed because that was our first time, my first time having dinner with the family, and he wanted me to be impressed. And that story will never die, and we will never forget that on my first dinner at the Olsons, Rick dropped his pants.
It was magical.
It was. It made an impression. It made an impression. And the good thing is that since then, really nothing from the Olsons has shocked me. I mean, really, it's kind of go with the flow.
When you start with seeing your future father-in-law's tighty-whities at the dinner table, where can you go from there?
Where can you go? Yeah. It's like, no, it's just go with the flow. Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's Rick. So, but we love you. Happy birthday.
When I think of fun or funny stories involving my dad, there are a lot to choose from. But I'd be remiss if I didn't tell about the time when, years ago, I invited my dad out for coffee. And we went to Caribou, and I ordered first, pro move, and then he ordered second. And then I turned around and said, "Oops, I don't have my wallet on me." And as a gracious dad, he went ahead and purchased my coffee. And I think there were 7 or 8 times I invited him out to take him out for coffee that he actually bought my drink, that he started to figure out my whole plan. Now, I will neither confirm nor deny that I left my wallet intentionally in the car, so I didn't lie. I didn't actually have my wallet on me. But that term has officially been deemed pulling a David, where we invite dad out for coffee or dinner and then allow him to pay for it. So pulling a David is now one of my sister and brother's favorite things to do, including myself. So Dad, isn't it wonderful that you have full-grown children with kids of their own that are still a burden on you? You're welcome. Love you.
I remember this one funny time when I was teasing Papa about being called Papa. And I said, "That's not even a word. Why do we call you that?" And he looked at me with the most just disgusted look almost and said, "Well, you started it." So I apologize that you've put up with me this long, and I'm sorry for starting that.
I heard Papa this much because he is the best Papa in the world. Papa will make me happy.
But you know what I really love? The example that I got from Dad is that in all the years, all the football games, all the concerts that we have sung in, all of the things that were really important to us, I knew that Dad was going to be there. I knew that he was going to be there cheering us on and supporting, and I have kept that in my heart when I was daydreaming about having kids. And now I have a whole pile of kids, just like these dudes right here, and it's pretty exciting for me to be able to watch John, Duncan, and Brennan and watch them play football just like Bappa used to come and watch me. So I'm very grateful for the example that you've given us, and I love you, Dad. Happy birthday.
The reason why I love Bappa is because he supports me in everything I do, and his deliveries with all of his jokes makes me laugh so hard. I mean, like, there is funny, then there is standing with Bappa, and then he delivers a joke. I mean, like, mind-blowing.
I love Papa because he makes me feel special.
I've had many fun experiences with Rick. I've got quite a few stories, too many to tell. But one of the stories that stands out was one of the first meals that I've had with Rick and his family, many meals after that. But one of the things that stands out at that first dinner is that Rick asked me to take the garbage out with him. And I did, and proceeded to have some other interesting questions. One of them was that he asked me what my intentions were with Rachel. And I just kind of laughed this off, but I realized through that whole experience that, he's just looking out for his daughter and looking out for his family, and I respect that. And since Rachel and I have been married, we've done a lot of things with Rick and Kathy, but I've had the privilege of being able to go hunting with Rick. He asked me one time, and I was kind of scared to go, and I went, and we had got a chance to shoot a deer and go through that whole process. Stayed overnight at a friend's house with Rick and just enjoyed our time together. And that's something that I've continued to do with him, and something that I'm also want to pass along to my boys as well. Wills wants to go through hunter safety and learn how to do that, and I guess I see that as a legacy that Rick has passed down to our family that I want to continue on with my boys. And so Rick is a great guy. He cares about, I felt very cared for. He values time with the people that he cares about, and I'm grateful for all the things that I've learned from him, and look forward to many things in the future.
Well, with Papa around, it's no real mystery where the Olsens get their sense of humor. And also, I don't think Adrian Peterson could be any better of a football player than Papa was. I am also proud to be a John Olsen named after you, Papa.
I love Papa because he always supports me in my events, and he always comes to the things I do, and he always has a compliment to make me feel special.
Okay. All right. We would like to share, now that we are fathers, that's actually kind of a scary thought. Now that we are fathers, we want to share with you one of the most powerful examples that we had about great parenting from our dad, and maybe one of the most traumatic.
Both and the same.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
See, when we grew up, we were driving around in a Pontiac Parisian which had the reverse seat, so we could look backwards out the back of the car. And sometimes it got kind of cold back there in Minnesota winters.
Very cold.
So we had one of Mom's Afghans that she knits. And although I'm sure that it probably would have fit us collectively, that wouldn't have been any fun. So it looked a lot more like this. No, seriously.
Stop it. Seriously.
Yeah, whatever. So we were fighting a lot, and I still... Really? And I still remember Dad saying something to the effect of, "If you guys don't stop it, we're going to stop this car and kick you out."
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's not
He's
a
not
chance.
gonna stop the
So
car.
we kept,
Knock it off.
we were still at
Okay,
it.
seriously, don't mess the hair up.
All right,
Okay, come on.
whatever.
I held it for a little bit longer.
So we were fighting, as
You
we
were
sometimes did. All right, I was right, but anyways, so we were fighting, and all of a sudden the car comes to a stop. I still remember exactly where it was, right by Lindy's Steakhouse by Lake Johanna, Dad.
Downtown St. Paul, man.
No.
In the hood.
Yeah, not really.
Lindy's is not in the hood.
No, it's
not even
it's right
scary.
by Bethel, where
It
people
couldn't
love
have been
Jesus.
a
Nice try, though.
more rich neighborhood, but
Yes, but Dad stopped the car and slowly opened the door, and then wham! Big slam. And we looked at each other like this.
and he started crying.
No, he started
You
crying.
cried.
You
So you totally cried.
You cry all the time.
You're a baby.
No. Anyways, big Pontiac Parisian door opens up, and we get this, "Get out." He sounds like a truck driver or pirate sort of things when he's really mad, I guess. So, slammed the big door, leaves us on the side of the road, and drove away, 5 miles?
If that.
Or 50 feet? Maybe 50 feet.
It felt like he left.
It felt
Us
abandonment is what it felt like.
Abandonment,
Dad.
He left us.
We're still
In the hood!
We're still thinking about this.
It was a dangerous neighborhood.
Right by a steakhouse. Do you know what
started
kind
it.
of people live near a steakhouse?
Knives.
With knives. That's good. So Dad went about 50 feet, and by the time he stopped the car and came back out, we were like, "Dad, we're so sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry that David was such a brat. He won't do it ever again." So, someday we hope that we can aspire to that kind of fatherhood skills so as to kick our children out of the car in the middle of absolutely nowhere.
For no reason.
For no reason whatsoever. That's right.
That was a good moment.
But we do love you.
We love you a lot.
All right.
Papa, I love you because you are really funny. And you were a Gopher football player. Go U of M.
One thing that I really like about Papa is that when you look at him, you see this just strong, tough man. But then he has such a sweet heart inside that when he comes and watches me dance, for example, and he's just crying of proud tears, it's just so sweet, and he's more of just this lovable teddy bear.
Dad, one of the things that I love the most about you is the fact that you are so supportive of all of us, both the kids, grandkids, of your family. And I'll never forget the time, sophomore year in high school, I needed to sit you down because I had something big to tell you. And 3 out of 4 seasons of my life, I played soccer. And in the fall was football time. And I didn't want to play football. And I can remember vividly that I was trying to set a meeting with you because I needed to tell you this and get your permission or forgiveness or something, and I didn't want to disappoint you. And I will never forget sitting down at 40, 50, 85th Lane and having this conversation with you and just feeling this huge, heavy heart and scared and nervous to let you down as a son. I mean, you were a Hall of Fame professional football player for all I thought, and John was going to go be a professional guy, and I hated football. It just wasn't my thing, and that's okay. But Dad, you were so gentle and caring about that, and you were so supportive to me, and you were so good about assuring me and letting me know that I wasn't going to let you down for not playing football, and that you still loved me and you still supported me. And you came to soccer games. I know you hated them. You came to them. And that sophomore year, I started varsity soccer, and I played my whole high school career. And I loved it, and I was so glad that you were supportive of that, even if it wasn't your favorite thing in the world. But I also love that you were so good about coming to our musicals, our plays, our Poor Baker's Dozen concerts, whatever it was. You were there. You were present, and you were supportive. And I see that also translating into the grandkids. So, Dad, thanks for leaving a legacy of support. Thanks for leaving a legacy of presence. And I know now as a dad just how valuable that is. And I'm going to pass it on to my kids too. So thank you for that. I love you, Dad.
I think that Papa is special because he is beautiful on the inside and outside. And he loves Jesus just as much as me and my family.
I love that he taught me how to shoot a gun, and so it's fun shooting with him. And I also like that I like swimming with him and going boating with him. And I love him so much, and I love it. Well, it's funny when we're watching a movie and he goes to sleep and then he starts snoring.
I guess if there's one thing I wanted to say to you, it would be thank you. Thank you for raising your son into the most wonderful husband and father. He learned that from somewhere. He clearly had a good role model with you, and I'm really blessed every day that you were such a wonderful dad and you raised your son up to be such a wonderful man. And it goes on to the next generation because now my girls have a model to look up to find a husband as wonderful as their dad. So your legacy will live on when they find wonderful men to be their husbands, and they can say it's all back to our wonderful Papa, Rick. So thank you very much, and happy birthday. And I'm very honored to be in the Olsen family.
Rick, one thing I've always loved about you is how competitive you are compared to how competitive I am. I love playing games with you. I love playing cribbage with you. I love playing greedy dice with you because, let's be honest, I win a lot and it's fun to watch you lose. I mean, it's just one of my favorite things to watch your face when I beat you. And so that is one of the things that I love about you. You know, when people get married, they always say, beware of your in-laws. But, you know, that's something that I've never, ever thought with you or with Kathy for that matter. I couldn't have asked for a better father-in-law. One as supportive as you, one as funny as you, one that I want to actually hang around and be around with as much as you. And I just really appreciate how much you love on me and my family and my kids. I love you, Rick. Happy birthday.
I love my dad for so many reasons. He has taught me so much in my life. He has always been there as my biggest champion. And he has been my hardest and toughest coach and really has turned into a good friend. And some of the things that I think about from my childhood are so special to me because they're things that I've started to do as a mom. One of my very favorite things was the time that my dad said, get in the car, we're gonna go crazy. And that began such a fun tradition with the Olsen family. And we ended up going to Grandma's restaurant in Minneapolis that night. And I, to this day, can still remember the lasagna I had because it was such a special event to me. And every time after when he said, get in the car, we're going crazy, we knew that it was gonna be something cool and fun, even if it was just to go to Garrison to get ice cream. I also, when I think about my childhood, I remember the road trips that we would take, and a lot of times we would drive through the night and everybody would sleep, but I always thought it was my job to stay awake and talk to my dad, and I loved those times at night when everybody else was asleep and I got to be the one that kept Dad awake. But I got to chat about things, and I can't remember what we chatted about, but I remember just loving those special times. I remember also when I had cancer, and I never knew that my dad was scared when I had cancer. And until later, probably I think it was even a couple years later, when a pastor that we had, Pastor Rick Sturm, had passed away, and we went to a service, and we were talking about memories with Pastor Rick, and my dad broke down when he started talking about my cancer. And in that moment, I just realized, whoa, man, he protected me from being scared because he was so strong, and strong for me and strong for the rest of the family when I was going through that. So it's really cool to think about that and to think about how he's always looking out for me and always wanting the best for me. And you know, when I was in swimming and even today when I'm trying to do running and all that stuff, he challenges me to push to do my best. And you know, I know that my best is good enough, but he always pushes me to get there and to believe in myself to get there. And I really love that about him. I just really am grateful that God gave me my dad to be my dad, because he has been the best dad that I've ever had and ever will have and ever could have. And really, probably the best dad that there ever has been. I love you, Dad.
I love you, Papa. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Dad. I love you.
I love you, Papa.
Happy birthday, Papa. I love you.
Happy birthday, Papa. Love ya.
I love you, Papa. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Dad. I love you.
Happy 70th birthday, Dad. I'm glad you were born.
Happy birthday, Papa.
Happy birthday, Papa. I love you. I love you, Papa. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Rick.
Happy birthday, Papa. I love you.
Happy birthday, Rick. You, sir, stole my heart when I was 17. And a few years later, we started this grand adventure. I never knew what was going to happen or where we'd end up. But man, I can't think of anybody else I want to share my life experience with but you, because I love you so much, and I hope you don't ever let go of my heart, because I'm not going to let go of you. I love you.